Ross, how are you?
I know. Okay. You're speaking, you say?
Yes. Thank you for coming.
It's not time yet.
No, it's good to see you.
Wanted to see how it was done in the big league.
Yeah. We'll do our best to show you.
Nice to see you again. Glad to see you.
Oh, you got an extension. Good.
Yeah, that'll make things a lot easier. And
It sounds like we're
it's your sound check. Bill, you have tape, do you not? Yes, I do. Can I have a couple pieces of that real quick? Let's set that on the front. Thank you.
Test, check one, check.
We meet again.
Yeah, 310.
Oh,
Hey, Russ.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
I'm excited. I like this.
Hi there.
good morning.
Sir,
That's nice.
I sure can. Hang on.
Day side now because
Absolutely.
everybody's on break.
Yay.
You got the all.
Oh, wait.
Yes, sir. Just turned 13. I'm the Columbia guy for the Yeah. Yeah, that's
Oh, good Jordan. Oh, there she goes. Oh,
It's never your fault. I love it.
Yeah, that was an exciting story, huh?
All right.
We're chasing. Got to chase speeders. Thanksgiving.
Oh my. That might be just a little bit too loud. What do you say? Yeah, just a little bit. That's better.
Wilson.
There's the governor. All right. Now it's a party.
Yeah. You go to hang in there.
Come on in. Join the party.
I sent out.
Right?
Let me get my face before my hands.
Good morning. How you doing?
You just got my butt.
Good to see you.
Hey, neighbor.
I just got your butt. It was like this. I got it close to the Stand up there. He can't.
I don't know if it was hard hitting and sophisticated recording.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at people. The cold weather.
Yeah. Just give it a few more minutes. Just hang. That's right. Okay, I'll put you down. Okay. Hold you? Will you look at the camera?
Jared, look over here.
Look at Amy? Mom.
That's right. Somebody.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
What are we doing here?
Waiting for Duane to start his speech.
For Macintoshes?
For his 2006.
All right.
Get that? Yeah, I think I got you. I hope I
Okay,
I
excellent.
got it.
I'll try not to, bump or tap too much for you. All right. Ready? Whenever you're ready.
Okay, everybody have their sound and white balances? All right, we're going to kick this off then. I'm Roger Wilson, and I am delighted to be here today to introduce Duane Burghard and his wife Mara, right over here. And this is Taylor, his daughter, and Jordan, his daughter. It's a family affair today. Duane has already delivered public service in his lifetime. He came to Mizzou. He's one of those that stayed, like probably a lot of others in this audience. But for a short time, the United States Navy had his services. He helped them, and they helped him. They taught him some things, and he taught them, or gave them some new software to improve their operations. So he's already improved not only our community, but our country. When he came back, he's in the IT business, I believe involved with Macintosh, Apple, and is one of their largest distributors. So he is an MU graduate, a businessman in the Columbia community, has already spun off some businesses and is responsible for creating jobs. He's already run in the 9th District. He knows and understands the issues of the 9th District. He is a choice, and of course we don't know if there'll be a primary or not, but obviously there needs to be a strong two-party system. And I think a businessman, a person who cares about people's health care, a person who cares about the education of people's families and their job opportunities is exactly what the Democratic Party wants to put before the voters of the 9th Congressional District. So it's with great pleasure that I get to introduce Duane this morning. You'll get to hear more about his plan, and then you'll be able to ask him questions right after that. Duane?
Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you, Governor Wilson. I want to start by recognizing and first of all thanking you all for coming out on a cold day today. I'm especially grateful to be joined by so many of my friends, and my family, my wife Mara and my daughters Taylor and Jordan are why I'm here. My mom has flown down today. My friend Alex Oslanides is here recording us in HD. Alex and I have actually been friends for 22 years, believe it or not, Alex.
Wow.
He and his brother Angelo run the G&D Steakhouse over by Best Buy, which is a place that is indicative of so many things that is right about mid-Missouri. If you've not been in there, it's a place where they always know your name, where you're always welcome, and everybody there is always family. And I wouldn't be here without you here, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Many of my friends from my church are here. Cindy Sheltmeyer, I believe, did Cindy make it? Is she still showing? She's not shown yet, so I'll skip her. But the Missouri Realtor of the Year, Cindy, is in my church, and she tells the story of how my wife and I met better than anyone else. So if she shows, you can ask her. It's a great honor to be introduced by Governor Wilson. Governor, I don't think that any man ever took the reins of power in this state at a time of greater tragedy or uncertainty. And you managed to get us through those days with grace and dignity and comfort. And it is especially nice to be standing with you here today in the shadow of the building that has your name on it. It's also good to see State Representative Judy Baker here. Judy constantly fights for families for mid-Missouri in the trenches of the State House. There are some genuine problems in Jefferson City today, and the truth is that Judy Baker can always use more help. I'm a former United States naval officer. When we need help in the Navy, there's always one group of people that we could know, that we could count on and call upon to help us out, and that's the Marines. So I'm especially proud today to have a Marine here, Skip Elkin, and I know that Jefferson City will be a better place next year when he's elected in the 21st District. So Skip, it's nice to have you here.
All right.
Finally, another Wilson that has chosen to join us today, my good friend Scott Wilson. Scott was with us in the early days of my first campaign. He was one of the college Democrats that fought hardest for me in 1992. Today, Scott is a brilliant, talented, and successful attorney right around the corner here. And Scott, I can honestly say that no one is less surprised or more proud of everything that you've become than I am. And it's wonderful to have you here. Let's go ahead and begin at that point. I'd like to begin with some words from the 71st Psalm, if you don't mind. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. O God, thou hast taught me from my youth, and hitherto have I declared thy wondrous works. Now also, when I am old and gray-headed, O God, forsake me not, until I have showed thy strength unto this generation, and thy power to everyone that is to come. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we begin an era of true healing and unification in American politics. an era where Americans can have honest differences of opinion on issues of substance without having those differences digress into partisanship, name-calling, or personal attacks. And today, we declare an end of the era of politics dominated by the doctrine of separate and divide, divide and conquer, and the ends justify the means. Let us be free to have and state our honest differences of opinion, to understand that it is perfectly acceptable to feel passionately about our views. But at the end of the day, let us also remember this about our opponents, that they too are Americans, the overwhelming majority of whom are decent, honest men and women who deserve to be treated as we ourselves would want to be treated by them. Today, we will remember in years to come. Today was the day when we stood up to those who seek to separate and divide us and said, we do not accept that there is a red America and a blue America. We say there is one America, a red, white, and blue America. And when we are faced by those who believe that they are better than we are, or by those who believe that we are better than them, we will remember the words of Peter in chapter 10 of the Acts, who said, I perceive that God is no respecter of persons, but in every nation. And I believe that by every nation he meant every nation, religion, political party, or other artificial divider of persons. In every nation, he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him, black or white, rich or poor, Jew or Gentile or Muslim, Republican or Democrat. We will reach across every aisle. We will do it without fear, and we will find those who will work with us towards a better, fairer, more just, and more unified America. Today, we will remember, was the day when we said that it isn't right that our children be given a bill tomorrow so that the wealthiest few percent of Americans can have tax breaks, which they don't need today, especially when our country does need that help and needs it so very badly. Today, we will remember, was the day when we as Americans stood up and said that it is well past time to get partisan politics out of the pursuit of scientific progress. Whether it is climate change, or stem cell research, or space exploration, or any other field, let us begin again to make decisions solely on the basis of intelligent, qualitative, and quantitative analyses of the facts, and not based upon political agendas. Today, we will remember, was the day when we as Americans said that we need to make sure that our government is placing well-qualified professionals and not personal friends in positions critical to the general welfare and common defense of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not naive or unrealistic about this. Patronage has a place in the worlds of politics. Luxembourg, after all, with great respect, needs an ambassador. But the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Food and Drug Administration, the Office of Management and Budget, and the Department of Homeland Security are not places for those people. Friends, I've spent the last 13 years building and growing a multi-million-dollar business from scratch. In that time, I have been blessed by the opportunity to create quite a few jobs and to hire quite a few people. And as all good businessmen and women know, when you're hiring people for critical positions, the first criteria is that they be qualified to do the job. Today, we will remember, was the day when we said that we are no longer prepared to sit idly by when our government asks no questions of oil companies who post record billions in profits at the expense of the American consumer. And what was our government's response to those unprecedented profits? What was our representatives' response? They passed an energy bill right away. An energy bill which encourages the building of more oil refineries, which sets aside more money for drilling in the Arctic Wildlife Reserve, and which gives those same oil companies, which just reported record profits at our expense, a new $12 billion in tax breaks. Now, I want to stop and be clear here that our reaction to this has nothing to do with Republicans in general or with the Honorable Mr. Hulshoff in particular as Americans. But we do strongly disagree with them, and we do believe that we can do better. I'm a veteran. I'm very proud to have served my country as a United States naval officer, and let me take this opportunity to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to every man and woman in our armed forces, those who served before me, those who I had the great honor and privilege of serving with, and those who have come after me. I am a veteran, and I am deeply concerned about what our government is doing to veterans' benefits. In March of 2003, my honorable opponent voted to cut veterans' benefits. He did so again in March of this year. My fellow Americans, placing a bumper sticker on your car which says we support our troops while supporting politicians who cut funding for veterans or don't allocate sufficient funds for existing combat troops or protect the jobs and businesses of our reservists which suffer while they are spending so much time defending our freedom overseas is not supporting our troops. We must vote for a government which values our troops in words and in deeds. And a time when we have gained thousands of amputee veterans is not the time to be closing VA hospitals. Friends like you, I believe that ours is a great nation, capable of overcoming any challenge. And while the challenges we face today are serious, while they may seem dire or insurmountable sometimes, we will succeed. Though we face special interests whose success and survival depends on separating and dividing us as Americans, we will succeed. Though our campaign will face entrenched and well-financed opposition, we will succeed. Securing our children's future will take money, and it will take no small amount of it. But with so much at stake, we will raise it, and we will succeed. We will call on America to demonstrate the value that it places on its principles, and America will answer, and we will succeed. We will need strength to run with patience the race that is set before us, perseverance and determination to overcome the obstacles in our path, and we will need faith to guide us, to keep our hearts and our minds, as well as our speech and our actions, on the high road. And we know that in our prayers, we will find that strength, and we will succeed. If we are faced by fearful odds, we know that we will find in Hebrews that we may boldly say that the Lord is our helper and that we will not fear. In the days that are dark or cold, our prayers will remind us, as it was told to the Romans, that the suffering of this present time are not to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed in us. And when we face the disenfranchised, the fed up, those overcome by frustration, which has turned into apathy or indifference or hopelessness, we will fight this insidious plague, as King David said, and we will say, "Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart." And with that courage and with that strength, we must and we will succeed. Together, we will return hope. We will restore confidence in our government. We will show the people again that they can make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Duane Burghard, and for these reasons and for so many others, I very much want to be your next representative in Washington, D.C. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. I'll be happy to answer some questions.
Good thing we're done. You want to answer the question?
Sure, I'll be happy. I'll be happy.
Go ahead.
There's not a, again, I don't want to come at that from a standpoint of, again, separating and dividing. I think that there are a number of differentiating factors. Some of the things that I mentioned in my remarks, I think, sort of speak to the things that are different about the Honorable Mr. Hulshoff and myself. One thing that you won't hear me say in this campaign, and I will trust the media to help me out on this, and you can call me out if I do. You won't hear me say during this campaign, Kenny Hulshoff is, or Kenny Hulshoff feels. Because when you're having a debate, when you're creating an opportunity to come together, when you place that sort of status on someone else, you remove the possibility for compromise and for agreement. I don't know how Kenny Hulshoff feels. I don't know what Kenny Hulshoff is. What I would do is I would turn that into what are called I messages. I feel this. I will tell you, Kenny Hulshoff voted for this. He did that. Okay, those are things that will come out in the campaign, and I feel perfectly comfortable saying, but it's not going to be a personal thing. It's much more about, this is the way I feel. This is what I'm here to tell you, and I'm very comfortable letting people decide from there who they want to represent them.
It won't actually be a negative campaign. It'll be,
Do you know what I'm?
you'll be pointing out the difference.
You know what I'm exactly, and I really do hope. I really hope that regardless of who wins, that next November, on election night, Mid-Missourians sit down in front of their TV and they're watching the election returns, and they say to themselves, you know, in this district, that was really decent. That was really representative of what's best about our political system. That's, you know, it's a dream I have. I think that would speak best of Mr. Hulshoff and myself than anything else.
What's your take on the current political climate? I know many Democrats nationwide are pretty excited about the upcoming elections.
Well, I think Democrats should always be excited. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about the challenge and the opportunity. As I'm not Mr. Emanuel in charge of the DCCC, or I'm not Senator Kerry or some other major person in the party, I don't have a sort of position on where the Democratic Party is going. I'm a lot more concerned about, you know, the 9th District in Missouri and the people of the 9th District than I am about the Democrats. If I happen to be elected and in that process I arrive at a House of Representatives that holds the Democratic Party in the majority, am I going to be upset about that? No, I'm going to be pretty happy about that, you know, but I'm not really thinking right now about the nation as much as I am about mid-Missouri.
And quick question, Democrats, I think they've identified 11 competitive races. Is this one of them? Or is it going to be a little bit more uphill here?
I think I would defer that question to the Democratic Party and not to me personally. If you want my personal opinion, of course, I think this is extremely competitive. So, you know, that's something very strange and bizarre that I have in common with a couple of actually Democratic officials, including Senator Clinton, in that I was a dorm coordinator for the college Republicans when I was in college. In fact, I have been. But you know, regardless of where I have been in my life, I haven't felt as though my political beliefs have altered that much as the ground underneath my feet and what party that has represented has sort of shifted over time. I don't feel as though my views are any different today, really, than they have been for some time. A lot of it's the same.
When did you become a Democrat?
Well, when I ran, now keep in mind, when I ran for Congress in 1992, I said in that campaign that if I was elected, I would sit as a Democrat. There was no question when I ran in 1992 that if I had been elected that I would run as a Democrat, and I was participating in the Clinton-Gore campaign as well, and I was doing other things with the Democratic Party in 1992. I suppose I became a Democrat or sort of realized that the ground had shifted beneath my feet shortly after the 1984 election. When I read through the party platform and I realized that this wasn't the Senator Charles Percy and the Senator Howard Baker and the Senator Rockefeller Republican Party anymore. and that sort of concerned me. And I looked around and I realized that Senator Sam Nunn and some of the other conservative Democrats were far more representative of the way I felt about things than what was put out in the party platform of the Republicans at that time. So somewhere in that vicinity, I suppose, is about where that change occurred.
Burghard, this is kind of early to ask probably, but are you anticipating debates with your opponent?
I would love that opportunity. I'm not, usually, and I would never speak for Mr. Hulshoff. Usually incumbents are harder to drag into that. I would welcome the opportunity, not just to debate with Kenny Hulshoff, but, as we go around this part of the state, where you go all the way up to Kirksville or to KMEM in Memphis, which everybody in northern Missouri listens to, just to sit down with them on the air and talk about the issues without having it be a debate. I would welcome any and every opportunity to be out there and to express my vision for the future of America and Mr. Hulshoff's. Josh, thanks for coming. I will be sending all the media copies of my remarks. I have them all up right now. I will send you a copy of my speech. The bios on the website and a picture of your pocket. Good for you. Okay. Reading through the editor address.
Everything going all right?
Good. And it's FLURIE. FLORY. Okay. So look up there. Okay. Right. Well, thank you very much. I bought 2 pairs of shoes, and I have in my basement. I think I still have. I still have one of them where I actually walked so far through the nails. The heel were actually pushing up on the bottom of the chair. I went 14 hours a day, 7 days. I may have something for you. I really do. I didn't frame, like slack them or something on the wall like a baby food. But it was really an amazing experience, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there again. It was really.
Look at those beautiful ladies. Wow. I got my pass, so it's okay.
I'll see you later. Hey, give me a call. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Vandalia Park, I knew where every ballpark and every dairy queen, but I just
ate a little bit of fast food.
That's right. The most dangerous dairy queen in the district, no question. Right on the floor, you go to the van bar. The van right by the window, dairy queen right there, open late, and I mean to tell you, I I'd find that place on my way home.
Excuse me.
That's a good question.
I'll talk to you later. I love your camera for me.
I have 4 better than what I got. Even now, we have to sanitize. I really don't like that. I'm not qualified. I'm going to have public vote. I'm going to have independent vote.
Did you put everything in there?
Appeal to Democratic voters. I'm attempting to get here. And so I don't see me as a Democrat liberal Democrat as the guy who's going to vote for. you a number of unwanted pregnancies. It has much more, because if there are no unwanted pregnancies, there's no abortion. It has much more to do with how do you stand on the Supreme Court's interpretation of the due process clause of the 14th Amendment than it has to do with the specifics of an abortion case. I think that I agree with the Supreme Court's logic in their interpretation of the due process in the Roe decision. I support the logic.